course of the event today. It would be hard to find a man in this county of this caliber who knows more about the workings of almost every agency and department in this town than our distinguished speaker today, Merrett Stierheim. We're very, very lucky. I'm very lucky that I was able to get him to come and speak to us, and I do thank you very much. I'm sure you've seen his name mentioned and discussed often throughout his colorful and influential career, which, by the way, was always geared towards serving our community in almost every field of endeavor. His vast expertise in county and city management for almost a half a century, hard to believe, has served our community in so many ways that it really is difficult to include all the things he's done. I mean, he's a complete course unto himself. You know, he could give a 6-week course himself. But he's here to give us a little of his insight and probably only a touch, smidgen, of what he has accomplished for the benefit of all of us during his faithful years of dedicated service. In July '04, after 45 years, that's almost half a century, of public service, Merrett stepped down as superintendent of the Miami-Dade school system. Now, did you know, this is an interesting fact that I didn't know until I started investigating, that the Miami-Dade school system is the 4th largest in the United States. In October 2001, Stierheim was appointed by the school board to clean up a scandal-ridden school system, scandal-ridden, get that? During that time, he was responsible for 45,000 employees in 340 schools with 370,000 students. That all went through grade 12, and 250,000 employees, adult and vocational students. So that covered a vast territory. Really unbelievable, an astounding amount of responsibility for any one person to control. Think of those figures, how one person could take care of all those. Stierheim first served for 10 years, starting in '76, as county manager, where he successfully supervised a $5 billion county-wide infrastructure expansion, which included, now listen to this, the construction of the Miami Metro Zoo, which is one of Miami's greatest and most popular tourist attractions, the downtown library and culture complex, as well as the government center and the county's mass transit system. I don't know how long we've all been here, but maybe you were here before we had some of these. Metro Rail, Metro Mover, and the Metro bus system. He was in charge of all of those things. Now think about it, how vast that experience is. In another field, he assimilated more than 165,000 Cuban refugees from the Mariel Exodus, if you remember that time, and also from Haiti. And in 1980, he helped restore law and order after civil disturbances, very severe. And if you've been here during that time, you remember reading about tourists being killed and wounded, and you know, throughout many, many years. So he joined community leaders to address the social inequities that sparked those disturbances. In other words, he went to the root of it to find out why are these things happening. And his methods were so effective that many of those programs are still in place today. I mean, no wonder the man's exhausted. After nearly 10 years as county manager, Stierheim stepped down in '86, maybe perhaps for a change of pace. Now, I'm only guessing here, when he was recruited as CEO of the Professional Women's Tennis Association, with 500 tennis professionals, which included some of the greats like Chris Evert and Steffi Graf, that caliber. Not one to sit on his laurels as CEO, he's credited with making women's professional tennis here much more international in its scope, doubling prize money, and establishing a players' pension fund plan, which helped a lot. He wasn't finished working yet. In 1990, his vast experience in government management led to his being appointed, now listen to this job, President and CEO of the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau, which you're all familiar with, I'm sure, which is a prestigious marketing, not-for-profit organization with 1,100 corporate, that's business members, and their sole mission was to promote Miami-Dade County as a top convention, business, and leisure destination, which was done. Stierheim established the Bureau's first dedicated advertising fund, exceeding $5 million. That $5 million and $5 billion keeps coming up, right? When crimes against tourists escalated in 1993, strongly impacting the community's #1 industry, I mean, after all, tourism is our #1 industry, you all know that. Stierheim lobbied effectively for more tourist signs in bad areas to alert the people, a strong law enforcement program for offenders, and expanded the community's awareness of the importance of the tourism industry. You know, a lot of us had to be taught that that's the first main industry of Florida. Early in his career, Stierheim served as the first, always first, town manager of the newly formed town of Miami Lakes. And while conducting a national search for a permanent manager, he led the council through a strategic planning process. In 1998, he was asked to return as Miami-Dade County Manager to head up another scandal-ridden, demoralized county government with, again, $5 billion budget, 30,000 employees. Think of the magnitude of those figures, and 42 departments, including the Miami International Airport, not a small place to conduct, the Port of Miami, transportation, water, sewer, health, and human services, including police and fire departments. Now just think of the magnitude of those things that he conducted. You might call him, and I call him, a troubleshooter supreme. It's nothing short of mind-blowing and awe-inspiring what this one man has done for us and for our community. So, it's with great, great pride and pleasure, and it certainly is an honor to have gotten him to come here to speak for us and to present Merrett Stierheim to you. Welcome.
Thank you. All right, if I